y'all, so much has been going on. We're going to tell you all about it because the guy who was hired to cut government spending, remember Elon Musk? Yeah, well, he pulled an all-nighter on social media, tearing into the so-called big, beautiful bill to shred. He shredded it. He slammed it as an outrageous, disgusting abomination and called out Republicans who voted for it, writing that in November next year, we'll fire politicians who betrayed the American people. But here's the But here's the reaction from D.C. Clip.
For him to come out and pan the whole bill is to me just very disappointing, very surprising. This is not personal between any of us. I just deeply regret that he's made this mistake.
I agree with Elon Musk. Republicans should listen to him, and actually to their former selves, outraged about the national debt. Because it's here, Donald Trump's big, ugly bill is in the Senate.
I take no issue with anyone calling out the government. I think the American people, including Elon Musk, have the right to do that every single day. I fully understand what Elon is saying, and I agree with him to a certain extent.
Well, President Taco D is yet to respond. And I do wonder why Elon thinks people are going to listen now to him, because he just spent several months destroying people's lives.
Yeah.
So now suddenly you woke up, you came out your fog.
Yeah, but you know what? Musk has is more favorable numbers than Trump, it looks like.
Today?
Yeah. He has an 83% favorability among Trump voters from 2024. So he's hurting Trump in a way. They like him better. How bad do you have to be for them to like Trump?
Better.
Well, I think part of his criticism is that he did cut all those things poorly and haphazardly, but this bill undoes some of that, which is like, what was I doing here? And I think it's a flashpoint. This bill is a flashpoint for the fracture that already exists in the Republican Party between this populist national movement and the old school conservatives. And they're kind of battling it out with each other as, do we want this small government or do we want to spend and do things like the border in here? And I laughed when I saw the Marjorie Taylor Greene thing because she actually regrets voting for it, and it only went through by one vote. She didn't read it, and I just feel like
admitted that she didn't read it.
Yeah, because I guess they always have people that do that research, but to come out and say out loud, like, "Oh, whoops, I missed that." It was a massive bill, though. but I don't think that suffices as an excuse.
No, you have one job when you're in Congress: to do the work, and read the bills, for your constituents. So,
Yeah, because otherwise, why are you there?
Why are you even there?
That's your job. You got people to do it, then get on your people to do their job.
At least read the synopsis, read the cheat sheet, do something. But for me, this Elon Musk thing really gets to me because remember he promised to slash $2 trillion from our $7 trillion budget. Then he moved it down to $1 trillion. Then it turns out he cut about $160 billion, which is about 2.3%. And that doesn't take into account the $135 billion in severance that they have to pay to the folks that he fired, nor does it include the litigation fees. So really, he saved our country less than 1%, nothing. But the damage that he did was just really incredible.
Yeah.
He slashed 250,000 federal employees, more than 8,500 contracts, more than 10,000 grants, and his cutbacks on medical research cost the lives of the foreign aid, cost 300,000 lives, mostly children. That's the damage that Elon Musk did. So I don't think anyone should be listening to him about anything, my opinion.
Well, a lot of us predicted that this split was going to happen. But what I'm most struck by is how is Elon Musk surprised that nobody, including Trump, cares about deficits? Donald Trump ran on a lot of things. There were a lot of things he said he was going to do. He never said he was going to address the deficit. In fact, no one has actually really tackled it since Bill Clinton about 30 years ago. This is just not something that's been a priority to politicians. But if you are going to ask any budgetary expert, you would have to cut entitlements, you'd have to cut defense spending, and you'd have to drastically raise taxes or some combination. These cuts were never actually going to do that, so it's just kind of rich that he's playing surprise today. But here's
And did
where it
he
gets-
not read the bill either? Because I know he saw it.
Yeah. Well, and by the way,
Yeah.
Elon Musk is a huge Pentagon contract recipient, $8 billion to some of his different
Yeah, he didn't
companies,
cut those
SpaceX.
grants.
But I'll say this. This is where it gets interesting. Two things. Elon Musk basically could tank Donald Trump's entire legislative agenda. This big, beautiful bill, it has energy, it has border security, it has extending his tax cuts in it. If Republicans decide, ooh, we don't want to get on the wrong side of Elon, that is what Donald Trump is banking it all on, and that's kind of devastating for his administration. On the flip side, those Republicans, if you're in a House district, you're like, I'm afraid of Donald Trump. But Elon Musk, because of the dark money system we live in, he can come in and primary you by just pouring millions and millions into your race.
And then there is that, if one was going to think, ooh, maybe this happened. Elon knows the 411 on everything.
Yeah, he got all that information.
He knows how all this came down. So now suddenly he's like, well, ooh, harumph.
Well,
So
I'm so angry.
So Trump should be afraid of him. 'Cause
I think Trump is
He has
afraid of him.
receipts on the election, too.
I think
Yeah.
he is afraid
well,
of him.
$20 million he spent alone in that Wisconsin Supreme Court race. So imagine he would just need to peel off a handful of Republicans this cycle. Like the entire balance of power in the House of Representatives could stand on if Elon Musk actually follows through and primaries people who vote for
And the
the bill.
votes to peel off are there because the party is divided on what it wants
But
right
hasn't this damaged Elon Musk's reputation, business
Massively.
reputation? Like Teslas, you can't even sell them anymore. You can't even get rid of them. People aren't buying them.
They're
There's
burning them.
They're burning
They were
them.
burning them.
Starlink,
We
no
don't
one trusts
suggest
it.
that.
No.
We don't
No,
suggest
no,
any
don't
of
do that.
those things.
But he's
No, of
ruined
course not.
his businesses and his brand. So I wonder if he's going to put any more money into American politics. I think this is.
I think he would in revenge.
He said he wasn't going to, and then he tweeted that basically he was going to come for anyone who votes for the bill. So I'm sure his board members and his stockholders are like, please just get out of politics. But as of now, he seems
Yeah,
to be.
But the
well,
New
they
York
seem to
Times-
be eating each other up.
But didn't
They're-
the New York Times today report that he's stoned?
That was a few days ago, but
yeah. No.
He
No,
denied.
they were talking about people perhaps stoning him. I
No,
don't think
no,
it had anything to do with it.
No.
But wait, we'll be right back.
It's drugs.
We'll
He
be right
denied
back.
it.